The Vikings say goodbye to the Metrodome today.
Final game to be played here.
Will they also say goodbye to Coach Frazier this week?
There's a lot of history here, but we can only go forward, right? Change is good.
We also talk with Vikings fans who turned out to say farewell and thanks for the memories.
Well, the cold seemed to have an effect on Vikings fans today.
Yeah, many of them rushed right into the dome and skipped the tailgating, but not all of them.
This group of Minnesota Vikings fans are the best fans in the world. We are like a family.
I can't feel my nose, but I have enough heat things in so that I'm pretty good.
Yeah, they found several ways to fight the cold. Oh, even some warm embraces. Wasn't that nice? This day was special, of course, because it was the Vikings' last game at the Metrodome, and they went out with a win. Mark Rosen here with team coverage.
And those fans will be outside the next 2 years at TCF. So enjoy all aspects of it. Kudos to those Viking fans who were at the Metrodome finale today. If you didn't know better, you would swear this game had actual meaning in the standings, given how enthusiastic they were, especially in the fourth quarter, as the Vikings held on to beat Detroit 14-13. He calls himself Flash, and in the midst of this losing season, rookie Cordero Patterson has emerged as a legit big play star as a kick returner, wide receiver, and even here as a running back. In the first quarter, Patterson set a franchise record for the longest run by a wideout, sprinting 50 yards for a touchdown when he initially looked to pass. But despite the win, there's that threatening cloud hanging over the head of head coach Leslie Frazier. After the game here, Frazier was exchanging hugs with many of his players as they headed into the locker room. Jay Glazer of Fox was the first report. Frazier will be out tomorrow. Leslie said it plain and simple when asked about his future here.
I have a contract. Our staff has a contract for 2014, and I hope that the Wilf family will honor that and give us a chance to come back next season and try to get our quarterback situation fixed, try to get the depth of our roster fixed, along with some other areas on our roster that need to be fixed. I hope they'll, give this staff a chance to, finish what we've gotten started.
Frazier said every move regarding the quarterback position was a collective decision made by the GM and owners as well. But the bottom line is the buck stopped with him, and tomorrow those very bosses will hold a meeting with Leslie to likely dismiss him. Now, Mike Max is outside the dome, and Leslie Frazier had a bit of resignation in his voice during that news conference. I could sense that he could sense what was coming perhaps sometime tomorrow, Maxie.
That's certainly the feeling you get, and outside the Metrodome doesn't take long for change in the NFL. You can see that already the excavation continues here. I think Ziggy Wilf might be driving that big Bobcat, getting that new stadium ready. But the truth is, Rick Spielman has had a list that he's been accumulating over the last few weeks, an unofficial list, if you will, of possible replacements for Leslie Frazier. And the truth is, Rick Spielman never really signed off on Leslie Frazier replacing Brad Childress as the head coach. At the time, he really didn't have the power to do anything about it. But most at Winter Park believe there could be a change as soon as tomorrow. The Wilf family also has a stake in this. They'd like to sell some seat licenses for the new stadium, and they think making a splash could help that, as well as take some of the pressure off of their problems in New Jersey. As for the players, they understand this one is out of their control.
Obviously, the coaching situation will be addressed. How do guys feel about that as they go forward and Leslie's job in limbo?
Well, just like Coach Frazier told us earlier in the week, we just have to focus on this week at this time. And now that this week is over, we really, it's not up to us. So, we just kind of go with the flow.
I think he did a great job of keeping us focused. There was days that we didn't want to come out there and practice. I mean, body hurts, stuff like that. And, he did what he had to do to get his team ready on Sundays. And, showed up today.
Yeah, players certainly like him. Names like Darrell Bevell, offensive coordinator at Seattle, that was with the Vikings at one time. Jack Del Rio, former Viking, now defensive coordinator for Denver. Lovie Smith, those are some of the names that you'll hear surface. The other big question is, does Spielman really have the autonomy, or will the Wilfs intervene? That's being watched and scrutinized very closely out at Winter Park. But tomorrow we should know a whole lot more about the situation. Now, can I come in now, Mark? The weather watcher is blue.
So is your face. All right, Maxie, please do. Now, we will cover all of it coming up on Rosen Sports Sunday with a look back at also my top 10 favorite Vikings moments at the Metrodome as well. Lots happening tonight, probably a lot more happening tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Rosie. The Vikings wanted to make sure fans didn't tear apart the Metrodome as they did after the team's last game at Met Stadium. They had double the normal amount of security watching the 64,000 fans in attendance today. Now, we did spot a few seat backs that had been detached from the seats, but for the most part, it appears the fans left the dome intact. As WCCO's Holly Wagner tells us, most of them just wanted to be there to say goodbye.
Go Vikes! Woo! Football fans made their way into the Metrodome for the grand finale.
Thank you. One last time.
The excitement of what's to come on many people's minds, along with the bitter cold reality of what next season could bring.
Mixed emotions, but I'm glad to go outside for a few years.
32 years of memories.
There's a lot of history here.
For 18-month-old Addison and her grandmother.
Our first game and our last.
For longtime Viking fan Mike Ravitzer, the game was a last-minute decision.
I had to show up. And I'm not even sure where we're sitting because we just got tickets.
He and his wife decided Saturday night to drive here from Davenport, Iowa.
I would have felt bad if I didn't. Yeah, I started to feel like fan remorse. At that point, I realized, there's no reason then why I have all the jerseys and everything else. I said, I got to go.
It's the unforgettable moments he can't help but think of.
I've seen a lot of great games here at the Dome, especially going back to the first year with Favre. That is mean as can be. I love it. And then years with Culpepper, Moss, everything else. Oh! It's meant so much to me, and I've enjoyed it so much.
A bit of nostalgia as fans say farewell. One last cheer, one last walk down the concourse, and one last push out the door.
I just can't wait till we got something new here.
Well, crews will begin deflating the roof and tearing down the Metrodome in January. The seats, meanwhile, are for sale. They'll range from $40 for schools and nonprofits up to $80 each for the public. Now, if you have a favorite Metrodome memory, tell us about it on Twitter. We'll share some of them at the end of our newscast. Just use the hashtag WCCO.
And 2 Minnesota priests are on leave.
And be sure to join us tomorrow night at 10 as we get inside access to an extreme group of Vikings fans.
Some people love the Vikings when they're having a good year. Then there's these guys.
There's no jumping off the bandwagon once you got your tattoo.
What really keeps us excited is the family that we have together, the Viking World Order.
Meet the fans with a passion for the purple, Monday at 10.
Lord, the Vikings said goodbye to the Dome this afternoon.
Could they also be saying goodbye to Leslie Frazier soon? The coach made his case to reporters for staying with the team. Mark Rosen has that next. A lot of Minnesotans this week have been sharing their favorite Metrodome memories. This Viking season that just ended today, not on many people's lists.
No, it all started watching Pete Rose get the first base hit at the Metrodome in April of 1982 in an exhibition game, and ended with the Vikings taking a knee, which is not a good thing to say given the Vikings history, but that's what happened today. It was, Mike, a fond farewell to the Metrodome. A bittersweet finish for a Vikings team which got behind the 8-ball quickly this season, and despite a 1-point win over a listless Lions team, likely signaled the end of Leslie Frazier's coaching career here. The highlight of the second half of the season was the emergence of rookie Cordero Patterson as a triple threat. His 50-yard run, what was supposed to be a pass, was a showcase of his vision, his speed, and his power. It was a franchise record for the longest run by a wide receiver. Speaking of 50-yard plays, Marcus Sherrills with a nifty 50-yard punt return to set up the Vikings' second touchdown. Sherrills has done an excellent job all season again as a punt returner and was forced into extra duty at defensive back because of all the injuries. Matt Castle followed up with a touchdown pass to Patterson, who got great position in the end zone on the Lions defensive back. Castle was 20 of 33 with that one touchdown pass and one interception. With both Adrian Peterson and Toby Gerhart sidelined with injuries, Matt Asiata got another start and rumbled for 115 yards, topped off by this 34-yarder to ice the game late in the fourth quarter. Yes, this was a big deal to the players to end the season and the Metrodome with a victory. After weeks of dancing around the revolving quarterback situation, Frazier brought it up in defending his resume as the Vikings head coach when asked if he's proud of what he's done here.
I've done everything I can do in my tenure here as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. I just know, as I mentioned earlier, in our league, you need to get that quarterback position fixed. You can talk about defense, you can talk about offense, you can talk about special teams. I'm absolutely, to answer your question, yes, I am.
They lost at home. They haven't done too much of that.
Big show coming up in Rosen Sports Sunday, a little waxing nostalgic as well. So
great. Thanks, Mark. Okay. And we'll share some of your favorite Metrodome memories coming up next.
everyone, and welcome to the Rashad Rosen NFL Report. Well, it was an exhilarating, exhausting night for players and fans alike.
The Bloomington police said no arrests were made. However, several people were injured, and Ahmad, it was quite a scene on the field.
Gosh, it looks like it.
And down go the goalposts. We say goodbye to Metropolitan Stadium, and thanks for the memories. Next year, the Metrodome.
Yes, we're turning back the clock tonight on Rosen Sports Sunday. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight as we eulogize 32 years of Vikings football in the Metrodome. My first co-host back in the day when this show first started on Sunday nights, Ahmad Rashad, when the Metrodome first opened. We'll certainly do that, but first we must, of course, deal in the present and the near future, namely what happens with Leslie Frazier. The Vikings win over the Lions today was the Metrodome send-off fans had been hoping for, but Frazier didn't look to be one to celebrate as he walked off the field. A rather maybe knowing expression on his face as he headed toward the locker room and later as he hugged players in the tunnel. Plenty maybe to read into if you're a psychologist, but little in the way of definitive answers right now. Ziggy Wilf and Rick Spielman were both no comments about Frazier's future after the game, and if Frazier knows what lies ahead, he isn't saying, other than to say he hopes to have the chance to turn this thing around.
I have a contract, our staff has a contract for 2014, and I hope that the Wilf family will honor that and give us a chance to come back next season and try to get our quarterback situation fixed, try to get the depth of our roster fixed, along with some other areas on our roster that need to be fixed. I hope they'll give this staff a chance to finish what we've gotten started.
Sounds like kind of an open letter to the Wilfs at this moment. We welcome back, as always, Viking radio analyst for KFAN, former linebacker and assistant coach of the Vikings, Pete Bercich. Pete, you heard what Leslie Frazier just had to say. The hugs with the players, the expression on his face. I don't know if it's a safe assumption at this point the Wilfs will be letting Frazier go sometime tomorrow. Signals certainly all point that way. You just never know it.
No, you don't. And for Leslie, it's he's just been great to have around here, and it's just one of those things where you get the person and then you got the guy doing the job. And I think he's done, a lot of very good things. And there's been some key, not only say mistakes, but things that just haven't developed the way they wanted them to over the past 3 years. And for Leslie, it's hard. You go from 3-13 to 10-6. And then it kind of turns all back, right back around. So for the Wilfs, they're going to have to make they're going to have to make a big decision to say, what is the problem? Is it injuries? Is it personnel? Or is it the coaching staff?
And it goes beyond the head coach. You talk about the entire staff then. I mean, they would have the option saying, Leslie, we want you back, but you got to replace your offensive and defensive coordinator. It didn't work out. Let's just start with that.
Yeah. I mean,
it probably won't happen that way.
After the season this year, someone's going to lose their job. You know what I mean? No. You know that some people are going to get replaced. Some things are going to have to change. Things are going to get shaken up a little bit. It's just how high does that go? Is it the coordinator level or the head coach?
Yeah, Leslie, as we heard, made it very clear more than a couple of times today that the quarterback position confusion was a collective decision. Pete, in other words, yeah, I may have had the final word, but without saying so, I didn't draft Christian Ponder, though he had a hand in it.
Yeah.
I didn't bring in Josh Freeman in what turned out to be kind of an embarrassing experiment. Ownership of the GM are very much in charge, but that's how the system works in the NFL. The Cleveland Browns already fired their head coach again, and Leslie knows that.
Yeah, he does. And I guess that was one of the things when they put the GM in place. That was one of the things that we were hoping, because they used to have this triangle of authority. Right. Who was making decisions? Well, now we know that from a personnel standpoint, it's Rick Spielman, and Leslie has to play who he thinks is best suited to be on the field. So, can you blame the personnel decisions on Leslie himself? I mean, we don't know how much of a part he had in bringing in Josh Freeman and the decisions at quarterback.
Well, I don't think very much of bringing Josh Freeman in. I can't imagine, but we'll find out if Spielman will address that tomorrow at some point. If the Vikings will go for an offensive-minded head coach, given they're drafting 8th overall, and by the way, that selection would not have changed win or lose today. They're still in search for that elusive franchise-changing guy. That's sort of where they are right now.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, too, is you ask anyone this year, what was it the offense or the defense that was more responsible for the woes of this team? And in my opinion, it's pretty much the defense. Not that you can blame the whole season on one side of the football, but where do the changes need to be made? Where is the most improvement? And they were only 3 points away or 7 points away from being
But I'll say this: the Bears defense, the Packers defense, a lot of the really teams that are in the playoffs, their defenses aren't very good. But they have a quarterback.
That's true. I mean, they do. That's true. Now you got to get the quarterback position first, and it's become more and more important. However, it's a division that nobody wanted to win.
No,
it was, you know what I mean? So how far are these teams going to get into the playoffs?
Well, no Adrian Peterson for the Vikings, no Calvin Johnson for the Lions, nothing on the line for either team. The Vikings draft position I mentioned would have ended up 8th, win or lose, but the fans showed up and they stayed with enthusiasm, Pete. Yeah. At the outset of the game, they had the feeling kind of an August exhibition game minus about 80 actual degrees walking into the dome. How about this guy, Cordero Patterson, doing his thing today?
You know, he's on the field, and you just watch him here. They have more than 3 or 4 lines have a chance, and when he turns it on, he's just a step faster than the rest of the league right now. And for Cordero, you just like to see him get more touches at the end of the year on a high note.
Jared Allen got into the action, probably his last game as a Viking.
Yeah, great job by Brian Robinson there. I think toward the end of the season, Brian Robinson has improved. He's shown a lot of improvement since the contract extension. Jared came up late in the season, had a couple big sacks.
This is what Jared was mad about. He had a chance to catch his first touchdown pass and got it overthrown.
I know, he was wide open in the backfield, and unfortunately Castle had some pressure in his face, which caused him I mean, it's hard to overthrow a guy 6'9", but yeah, it was, and he got a great round of applause as he came off the field after that play.
Third quarter, the Lions showed a little life, and boy, they were lifeless. Reggie Bush scoring on a 19-yard touchdown reception, but what a meltdown by the Lions late in the year.
Right, and they came out very flat. They score in the first drive of the second half, and then they get a little bit inspired.
Hey, our guy, Dr. Sheldon Burns, long time, he took the biggest hit of the day here.
Look at Burns. Yep.
Whoa. He'll be back at work tomorrow. He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. Marcus Sherrills, quietly, and he's a quiet, reserved guy, doing a great job.
Right, 3 phases on this team. You have to think the special teams has performed very, very well with Cordero Patterson as return guy. Marcus Sherrills, like Leslie said after the game, he's a guy that's always been on the bubble, and look what he's done this year. He's come in and filled admirably at corner, at nickel, and punt return. He only does everything you ask him to do.
Patterson's showing really nice positioning here for the easy touchdown reception. He made it look easy. Number 84. So number 84 used to do that for the Vikings for quite a while.
Exactly. You want to talk about a difference between him and Percy Harvin. That's it right there. That's something that Percy Harvin couldn't do. A big-bodied Cordero Patterson could
Percy Harvin on IR again. Matt Asiata. Nice afternoon for this young man. What a great story. Overcoming some personal tragedy with his dad and the whole business. And what a celebration for a young guy who deserves that chance.
Here's a guy that's improved. Yeah, he missed a week, but the Lions were only giving up 90 yards on the ground in an average on game, and he had over 100 on the ground in the first half.
There's your final score. Final game ever played at the Dome, 14-13. And after the game, quarterback Matt Castle putting into words really what every Viking player was thinking.
I'm sure a lot of our fans have a lot of great experiences here, so we were happy to get a win here today against a division rival. And I know that, you know, on paper it says that we're not playing for much, but we definitely were playing out there, and you could tell that everybody gave their heart, and it was an exciting win.
I really don't want to play outside, man. You know, it's kind of cold up here in Minnesota. You know, my family came up today, this weekend. You know, they say they probably ain't gonna come back because it's too cold out here. So, no playing outside, man. I wish it wasn't true, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Cordero, I got a little hint for you. Next time in December, you may want to wear a coat outside. I watched him after the game today. That's the way he walked out of the Metrodome today. It does get cold here in December, but it's nice to have him around. That's for sure. Always what could have been. The Vikings gave up scores in the final minute of 5 games this year. 0-4-1 in those 5 games. There's your difference.
Right, there's your, and how, so it's not, we're not as far away as you think. I really don't think that this team is that far away.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
A lot of work to do. Still with Pete Persich throughout the rest of the show. We have a lot more to cover in our tribute to the Metrodome special edition of Rosen Sports Sunday. Most people took home memories of the Dome. Some people even took home seats or parts of them. Viking players look back and we count down the Vikings' top 10 Metrodome moments. I love the music. Stay with us. It's 8. The stories I'm hearing from this guy. Seems like every person has a different story or two about the Metrodome. As Mike Max found out, fans and players understand its place in Minnesota history, and for many are in no hurry to head outside next season.
To understand the value of the Metrodome, it's really not about what's under the big top.
Skull Vikes! Whoa!
It's about what's outside it. Its real value is that, cold as you get here, you don't have to stay here for very long. Is it kind of ironic that the last game in the Dome, we really need the Dome because it's so cold?
It is freezing. I can't imagine. I just said I'm never going to an outdoor game in January, that's for sure.
Do you think the Dome is kind of smiling at us today, saying, I told you so?
It is. Build me again, right?
At least today, that was the prevailing sentiment. No cold weather football fans here.
But I won't be coming to the game, so no way.
But these folks also were reflective on what has been. And man, there has been much inside the building.
The Metrodome means to me, Twins games when they won the World Series. Fortunately, the Vikings game when they lost to the Falcons, that's a heartbreaker, but good family times.
For players, today's game became about closure. On a disappointing season, a nice win, and maybe on careers as members of the Vikings.
It's been phenomenal. You know, it seems like it went by in a flash of an eye, but a blink of an eye, I should say. And just the option to come out here, have a good game, to close it down with a W, you know, means the world to me.
So many memories coming together on one day, and one big salute from players to fans.
Man, the crowd's been great. To hear them roaring like this now, that's how it's been my whole career here. And to go out on a winning note today, tremendous for this Dome. I mean, it's a remarkable play.
Yes, the Metrodome, not always loved, but certainly has to be appreciated.
Yeah, Jared Allen and Kevin Williams. Unique position you're in, Mr. Bursich, having experienced the Dome as a player, an assistant coach, and a radio analyst with the Vikings. Any particular special memory that stands out? I'm sure we don't have like a couple seconds.
Well, I know. I mean, just besides some of the stuff as a player, I always felt that it was a wonderful place once you were in your seat. From our place where we call, where the coaches sit, as a fan, as a player, but just when you left your seat, you know, the corridors are tight and everything else. But
restrooms are bad, the concession stands. But amenities are just, way out of touch.
A tremendous place to sit and watch a football game, and back in the day, stand and scream and holler. And I mean, I had never been in a stadium as loud as the one that is the one that we played in every weekend. So. It was crazy. It was a real advantage at the time.
Well, let's talk about the quarterback situation a little bit more. Matt Castle said after the game he'd love to return to the Vikings next year as agent. Maybe other teams will have a say. Should we view him as a capable stopgap measure until a new kid is brought in, drafted or otherwise?
Yeah, you're going to have to go through free agency first to see if there's anybody that you could bring in as a viable starter. Then you got to hit the draft and where we are we going to be able to get a first-round guy, a guy that we can just hand everything over to, or a guy that may need a year or two of development. And Castle, I think, can be that guy to help. I think that either Ponder or Castle will be here. And in the past, we've just seemed to hold on to draft picks. I mean, we really, really do. So, you know, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Ponder's out and Castle's the number 2. It could, you know, really.
Well, a lot of it will depend if they have a new coach too, as well. And
absolutely
that's
right.
A lot of things on the table. I mean, things could not have gone any worse for this guy, really, from the time he missed last year's playoff game in Green Bay, Pete.
No, it really couldn't have. And you know, you look at Christian's career, and you know, I still go back to the fact that he just can't stay healthy. He just can't keep himself consistently on the field. He's, you know, the ribs into this and to that, and that really slows the progress of any NFL player. Chris Cook, I think, suffered from the same thing throughout his career.
Well, he also suffers from poor play.
Well, just having a
really. Well, not that Christian didn't have his moments as well.
Right. So, you know, for Christian, he never gave us that 3, 4, 5, I think, game span. There was a game here, maybe a little bit there, but where it was just that flash of brilliance. And unfortunately, you had that window with Adrian behind him, where you think it'd be a good time to cultivate a quarterback.
You got a guy who's 12th overall, number 1 pick.
Exactly. I mean, you know, our expectations should be where they were.
Well, of course, the Wilfs, I think, want to establish the momentum the next 2 years from a PR standpoint to be off and running when they move into that new stadium in 3 years. So a lot on the table. The personal seat licenses, you've got to. It's a PR thing as well. Hey, we've all joined in with our favorite Metrodome moments. You know, I covered the Twins moments when they left for Target Field, so we know how much Kirby in Game 6 and Jack in Game 7 are standalone moments. So my top 10 list involves just the Minnesota Vikings. Here's part 1 from number 10 through number 6. Number 10, let's start at the beginning. September 12th, 1982. The Vikings' very first game at the Dome results in a 27-10 win over Tampa Bay. An interesting note, that's a young Mike Grant helping out on the sidelines, already plotting his 9 state titles and counting as head coach at Eden Prairie High School. Number 9, punky QB Jim McMahon won fame and fortune with the Bears, but was the Vikings signal caller in 1993. His long pass to Eric Gulliford helped set up a last-minute field goal to upset the Packers. Even more amazing, this was Gulliford's only career reception for the Vikings. Number 8.
The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in its still short life deflated for the second time in its history.
That was Howard Cosell. January 3rd, 1983, a Monday Night Football game that was almost delayed because of that collapse. The Vikings beat the Cowboys to reach the playoffs, but this game will always be remembered for Tony Dorsett's 99-yard touchdown run. Number 7, the impossible and incomparable Randy Moss brings a touch of the Harlem Globetrotters with a perfect blind over-the-shoulder lateral to Mo Williams for a score just before the half in this win over the Broncos in 2003. Number 6, Herschel Walker's debut for the Vikings in this win over the Packers in 1989. On his second carry, Walker rambles for over 40 yards, even as his shoe takes a flying leap. The shoe came down. Fans' hopes that Walker would lead their team to the promised land never did. But oh, what a media circus it was. Yeah, and Dallas went on to win Super Bowls. Coming up next, my top 5 Viking Metrodome moments, like this little bit of poetry. Stay with us.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain. Drive into the heart of me.
And welcome back to our look back at the Vikings' most memorable Metrodome moments. Herschel Walker's first game was number 6, so let's count down the final 5. Number 5, we all know Brett Favre playing for the Vikings was real when the aging gunslinger showed why he's one of the game's greats. Favre found Greg Lewis with a miracle touchdown with no time on the clock as the Vikings beat the 49ers. We will not, however, talk about how this season ended. Number 4, Randy Moss again making his debut for the Vikings in 1998 in stunning fashion by taking over this game against the Buccaneers with a pair of amazing touchdown catches. Randy, being Randy, wanted to play on that afternoon. Number 3, Adrian Peterson could have his own top 10 list, and his record-breaking day on November 4th, 2007 will always top his list. 296 yards rushing led to a win over the Chargers in a day that will never be forgotten. Number 2, the heartbreaking 1998 NFC title game lost to the Falcons, a game the Vikings should have won easily considering their 15-1 regular season record. Gary Anderson was perfect all year until this fateful miss that gave Atlanta an open door that led to the upset win. And finally, number 1. Why not? The Vikings' dream of a Super Bowl title has seemingly been deflated year after year. This 2010 collapse gave us stunning footage like never seen before. It was the Dome's 4th collapse in its history. Number 5 will be intentional. That's coming in the next few weeks, marking the end of an era most of us are ready to part with. What a moment. What a crazy end of a season that was. You ended up, Pete Bercich, playing that home game in Detroit that weekend.
Yeah, the NFL, in an amazing stretch, in 12 hours, they had the venue picked out. They had to drive paint in from Cleveland over to Detroit, and they let everybody, it was a free game. Homeless people were all over the place watching the Vikings play.
Yeah, and then speaking about how odd everything was, then what turned out to be Brett Favre's final NFL game on a bone-chilling night at TCF Stadium against the Bears, and then head coach Mike Tice. Remember all this that went on? Home for the next 2 years. I guess we should have some spectacular Sunday afternoons in September and October. Then it's going to get interesting. The field will have heating elements to it, but they will be here in December.
Well, I don't know how much a heating element's going to help on a night like tonight. I mean, could you imagine a game tonight flexed to an afternoon or evening with 10 below 0 temperature?
That means they're winning. They'll take it.
Well, that is true. That is true.
After sharing all these years, the Vikings and the Gophers, of course, will be doing it again at TCF Stadium. The U of M will be one busy place the next 2 falls. Well, when the Vikings said goodbye to the Metrodome today, they called in a hometown hero. We'll catch up with wait, who is that guy? Matt Burke? What happened to him? Stay with us. That's coming up next.
Meet the fans with a passion for the purple. Monday at 10.
During Homes
I had to do a double take when I saw Matt Burke before today's game and a special reception set up in his honor. A double take because he's half of what we used to see. 70 pounds lighter. Yeah, he was a rookie in that 15-1 1998 team, and ended up, of course, with Baltimore winning a Super Bowl. And yes, he did have a certain piece of bling with him this morning when I talked to Matt Burke. You got the ring. You got it on you here. Can we take a quick look at it as you do? I know Viking fans are a little jealous, and Viking former teammates here is a little jealous because you came oh so close here back in '98 in particular.
Well, you know, I mean, it's just a ring. I mean, you know, we came close a couple times here, and I know that the time for the Vikings is coming, and that'll be a heck of a party when it does happen, when they're able to hang a Super Bowl championship banner in the new stadium. It'll be a long time coming.
That sums it all up there, Pete Bercich.
I kind of like the fat look better.
Long time coming. Thanks for watching the special edition of Rosen Sports Sunday. We'll be back again next week. So long, Metrodome. We leave you tonight with a look at the future. Good night, everyone.
It took just 35 minutes to take down 31 years of history.
The biggest thing is the skyline changed forever this morning.
What's next for the remaining Metrodome materials, like the dome itself?
A college.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Liz Collins.
And I'm Edward Moody. The town will never look the same.
The Minneapolis skyline is without that familiar Teflon bubble tonight. Take a look. This is what it looked like as it deflated, the Metrodome deflated for about a half hour this morning. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield shows us how it all went down and what will go down next.
Hard to believe in just about a half hour, a city can go from before to after, but it did.
The biggest thing is the skyline changed forever this morning.
An event so monumentous, Nick Vetter and his sons are capitalizing on it. They're selling micro-sized pieces of the dome that collapsed in 2010. For $1 a pop.
One of the items that we found that people just wanted a real small chunk, and we thought, well, for $1, let's let them, you know, touch and feel it.
He's waiting to see if he'll get a piece of this Teflon. Jerry Juritz knows a lot about that Teflon. He sat under the roof at the dome many a time.
It's the things that happen under that roof, not the roof itself.
Like that moment when the hometown team became the world champions.
That was kind of like one of my family reunions. They get that loud once in a while.
And that's what the dome was known for, a place where nice Minnesotans use their outside voices inside. Now that roof will be cut into pieces, like the last one was. The company will disassemble it over the next few days. Those who knew it best were the last to be under it.
A lot of our longtime staff, and we basically took turns and turned fans off, so everybody had an opportunity to bring the roof down.
Soon a new one will go up. The cranes already have, marking the dawn of a new horizon.
I'm here today to celebrate that spirit and hope that it transfers down the street here pretty soon.
Now, that was actually the 5th time that the dome has been deflated, but it was the first time it was an intentional deflation. Now, it will be disassembled piece by piece, what's left standing of the building. They say by April, there should be nothing left.
And will people, Susan Elizabeth, eventually be able to buy a piece of the roof that came down today?
I don't think so, Liz. After talking to people today, I'm told that a company, Fratelloni's in St. Paul, is going to buy it, and they're going to somehow reuse it, recycle it.
All right, historic day, no doubt. Thank you, Susan Elizabeth. Well, many of us spent the day.
Well, the Vikings have a deal to bring in Norv Turner as offensive coordinator as expected, according to CBSSports.com. Tomorrow night, Mark Rosen will sit down with the Vikings' new head coach, Mike Zimmer, for a wide-ranging interview as he takes over the reins. That's tomorrow night on Rosen Sports Sunday. Former Viking safety Darren Sharper has been arrested on suspicion of sexual assault. It stems from 2 incidents in Los Angeles in October, and in addition is being looked at in New Orleans for an incident in September. He was freed on $200,000 bail and will have a court date February 14th. That's what's set right now.
Love it or hate it, the Metrodome's bubble top is no longer a part of the Minneapolis skyline. Crews deflated the dome yesterday morning. It took just 35 minutes to go flat. Crews will get into the building tomorrow and begin taking down what's left piece by piece. It'll be a rather quick process. The entire Metrodome should be gone by April. Just a small group of superfans gathered outside the dome to say farewell.
Can't believe it. I mean, man, when this thing came up, I was 21 years old. A lot of great memories, tears of joy for a lot of Twins fans, including myself. tears of sorrow for Viking fans.
The new stadium on the Metrodome site should be ready for the 2016 Vikings season. Everything that's inside the stadium will either be recycled or sold, including the dome's fabric. It was sold to a company in St. Paul that plans to cut it up and use it for future construction projects. Dramatic video as sections of the old Metrodome come collapsing down. Why explosives were added to the demolition plan. Now, we were told there wouldn't be any big explosions to take down Metrodome.
That's what we were told, but today there were. We'll explain why this wasn't originally part of the demolition plan. Plus, with one big bang, part of the Metrodome went down this morning. Watch this. Quite a sight as a series of explosions sent parts of the dome crumbling to the ground. This happened around 7:30 this morning. Now, the explosions weren't part of the initial plan because of the vibration and dust that they would cause downtown. But earlier this week, crews had to stop demolition when an upper section came down unexpectedly. So they devised a plan to use dynamite to bring down the very top and corners of the dome.
Oh, it was an awesome experience. It came down with a huge thud. Lots of dust and smoke everywhere.
Hey, here's what the explosions look like from Sky 4. We're told everything today went as planned. Police closed off several streets as a precaution. Crews will now move forward with tearing down the rest of the dome.
I
thought we were going to see it there, but apparently not.
All right, well, more than 120,000 thrill seekers packed into St. Paul last night to watch Daredevil speed down a frozen, twisted track. Red Bull says it was the biggest crash out crowd that they've had in St. Paul over the past 3 years. Now, this year's course took skaters down a 4-story drop, bumps, jumps, and even a U-turn before they could cross the finish. The extreme event brings in some extreme cash to the capital city. St. Paul city leaders estimate visitors